I had to step away from the corporate medicine because I gave my word to these companies. And so I stepped out of the hospital and I stepped into my home office or into a living room.
Wow.
It's usually home.
That was
Yeah,
a big mistake for them.
yeah, I think so. I think so. I think so. Actually, at one point, I converted my garage into a little office until I actually had a place in my house with an office. So yeah, and I love it because I get to bring my subspecialty to places all over the place and that need it. I'm not stuck at one hospital. And sometimes working at smaller hospitals, you're in a hospital and you have only 2 or 3 or 4 ICU patients. And then the rest of the day, what are you doing? You're either going to meetings or you're filling up your time or whatever. So this way,
And
it's more effective medicine also. And then also, you guys know working in the hospitals is that, when you go in, you see a patient, you examine a patient, you walk out, you sit in front of a computer and you start doing your charting. What's going to happen? Another nurse is going to come by and ask you a question. And then another nurse is going to come by and ask you a question. Or somebody else is going to ask. So you get interrupted so many times, it's hard to even finish a note. I don't have that. I can do it right here.
well, this is
Yeah.
truly amazing.
It's
And
fine.
and to your point about the smaller ICUs, it's true of anything. You lose your skills.
Hmm.
And that's a big problem, right? So you have the advantage that you might be taking care of 4 ICUs with 3 beds, but you're really taking care of 12 patients. So you're still maintaining your critical skills and you're talking to different specialists and you're still keeping up to date on the stuff. You're not just stuck with the same pulmonary doctor, the same cardiologist, the same ICU doctor taking care of 4-bed units somewhere. And nobody grows because we've done it this way for 10 years. We're all buddies and we all talk on Friday afternoons.
The other thing, coming back to the financial thing that George brings up all the time, is that, sorry, George, is that one physician at that facility, you're paying him a full day's salary for seeing 3 patients. If you're using me, you're only paying me to see 3 patients. You're only paying me a small amount of money. Let's say a physician's making $2,000 for the whole day being there. I'm going to charge you $200 or $300 maybe for seeing 2 or 3 patients. So it's a huge savings. And then I can see where we make it up is where we see our other patients at our other facilities. We charge them a couple of $100s and a couple of $100s, and so that whole
Heads up.
total adds up to a physician's salary, rather than having one physician at one hospital see 3 patients. And I've been here, done that.
Yeah, no, that also happens in the offices sometimes, right? So the office is slow today.
Mhm.
And you're just sitting there going, okay, waiting for a patient to come in.
Mhm.
And then there's other places where, they're fully booked and they can't see any more patients and they're sending them to the ER. So, yeah, it's nice. There are some bad case uses of this technology. And over the weekend, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal. This might interest you, Jeff, about treatment of obesity in children.
Mhm.
And so there's a telemedicine outfit already that's prescribing generic Ozempic, semaglutide, compounded to children 13 years and older over telemedicine on a subscription basis, without a physical exam, without lab work, without even weighing the patient. The parent just calls in and says, Johnny weighs this much and is this tall. And they're like, okay, they put it in, no, his BMI is over 95%. $99 a month for me to write the prescription, $99 a month for you to get the Ozempic in the mail. And they do that, and they're chomping at the bit to go down to do the same to 6 through 12-year-olds when the study comes out. That, I think, is a bad case use of technology. But again, there's the people behind the camera. The machine's not doing anything wrong. It's just, in my opinion, well, maybe you have a different opinion. It's irresponsible, cavalier to take care of a patient when you don't know what their real weight is. Well, you don't know what hemoglobin A1C is. You don't know if the liver enzymes are. You don't know what their blood pressure is.